Alright, so we've got our two flaps. This one is done on the rectangular pattern, and then this one is done on the arrow pattern. So we're going to go apply both of these flaps to a divided surface. So I'm just going to go to File, New, Conceptual Mass. And you can use, a surface in your particular project. I just want to do this very simply at first, and then we'll later on look at how it might be applied to a project. So I'm going to pick this center reference plane to make it current, and I'm going to draw a rectangle on it. Turn off my 3D snapping. Make sure it's set to work plane over here. And I'm just going to draw, 20. That seems fine. Whoops, and I wanted to make closed surface from loops, so I'm just going to draw it again. So that one's got closed surface, and I'm going to delete that one. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on this guy. I'm going to select it. I'm going to divide that surface, and it's going to divide it by default into 12 by 12. So let's just say we want to go 10 by 10. Okay, and so that's pretty much what it'll look like. Now I'm going to go back, Control Tab, back to my flap, and I'm going to load that into project. And it's going to ask me which one do you want to load it into. I want to load it into that new family, 7. Okay, so now it's loaded in there. I can pick this, go to the pattern pull down, and there are my two rectangle type 4 and type 18. So if I pick 18, it puts that flap on to that piece. So you can see that. You could pick that and change it from 18 to 4. Right? So now it's more of a closed flap. You could pick that, and let's say you wanted the flaps to be going down, right? So you could come in and you could rotate the component. There's, if you scroll this out a little bit, you get component rotation, and there's, you can just type in 180 and apply, and it'll flip those right down. I mean, you could also come in and, of course, change the spacing of the tiles. So if I just only wanted 5 on one, right, and 10 on the other. Okay, so that's with the rectangle. Now, if I pick that and say delete it, I just deleted the pattern off of it. I can pick that surface again and divide it. And then instead of no pattern, I can come in and look at the arrow pattern, and that's what the arrow pattern looks like right now. So basically it's going to come in and put those flaps on sideways, right? So if I come in and select that, go to my pull down, let's see, did I load my arrow in here? I don't see it. Maybe I didn't load it. So let's Control Tab, back to my arrow, load that into the project, Family 7. Click OK, select that, and then you'll see in the pull down under arrows I have my different types. So I can select the 3 foot, so there is that 3 foot flap occurring on the arrow version, right? And then I can come in, select that, change that to the 18, right? And it updates. Now, if you, let's say you wanted to have something that was a little bit more dramatic, you can make new types in here. So if I were to pick that, I could come in, go to Edit Type. I could duplicate, which is basically make a new type. And let's name this type, let's just call it 6 feet. Okay. And then I can come in and change that height to 6 feet and click OK. Right, and now it's flapping those guys out at 6 feet. You can also see that you're getting a partial pattern up here and on the edges, just because this one doesn't finish up as neatly as the rectangular one. You can actually pick this, and here you see border tile partial. You could come in and say empty, right, and it'll just only do the ones that are full tiles. Or you can come in and you can say overhanging, and it will complete the pattern, right, so that the entire pattern is showing up. Okay, And again, you can do other things like rotating the pattern or flipping it. So if you wanted it to be the other way, you could select that. And down here is, again, sometimes you have to scroll this out. There's flip. So you could flip it, right? It'll flip it. There's also, if we get rid of the flip, it'll go back. You could mirror it. So it'll, mirror it about the axis so it flips the other way. So lots of different things you can do. All right.